Hey RACER fans, thanks for checking in our weekly Tough Guy series. Tonight we're going to talk about a guy that was as tough as you make him, Don Branson, Don Pappy Branson. After World War II, started racing midgets, got pretty good, jumped into IMCA sprint cars, did good there. 1959, he's in the United States Auto Club. He's also in the starting lineup of the Indy 500 at the tender age of 39 in 1959. It's also the year he wins his very first sprint car championship, beats a guy named Foyt for the Midwestern Championship. Now, we've got to understand that dirt racing was, that's where you really made your money, and nobody was better on the dirt than Don. Here he is. Great shot, Bob Trunellen picture of Don at Sacramento with the tiger tail on the Wins car running behind him. Don was so good on dirt, Mario Andretti said every time Branson went out to qualify, Mario stopped what he was doing, jumped up on a tire rack and watched, because he said he always learned something from Pappy Branson watching him run the dirt. And that's quite a compliment. He's an accomplished race driver on the dirt. He's pretty good on pavement. By 1963, he's in the front row at the Indy 500 with Jim Hurtubise and Parnelli Jones. Now, Don didn't have a lot of luck in Indy, didn't win the race, had a couple good finishes, but had some bad breaks. But obviously he adapted to pavement. But dirt was his forte. Here he is at DuQuoin, racing for first with Roger McCluskey. And what's really amazing about Don Branson's story is he won 28 sprint car races, 15 USAC midget races, and 6 USAC big car races, including Langhorne, one of the toughest places in the world. What makes the story even more impressive is that Don was a type 1 diabetic. Now, nobody in his family knew that. He didn't tell anybody. He told one person, and that was Bobby Unser. At breakfast one morning, he confided to Bobby Unser that he was a type 1 diabetic. And the reason nobody could know was if USAC knew you were a diabetic, you couldn't get a license, so Don couldn't tell anybody. And the reason all this came to the fore a couple years ago after Charlie Kimball won the IndyCar race at Mid-Ohio, obviously that was a great day for Charlie. He's a type 1 diabetic. Novo Nordisk has really been a big sponsor of his and helped him, be in the shape that he's in. So they get him ready before the race, and even if he needs some help in the cockpit during the race, he's got the ability to help himself during the race. Unlike a guy like Don Branson, who was running 100-mile dirt races with no power steering in the middle of the summer and all that humidity in the Midwest. So Branson didn't tell anybody but Uncle Bobby, and Uncle Bobby kept his secret. And I wrote that story about Charlie Kimball, kind of comparing him and the Don Branson thing, and that's when it came out. And I even heard from Don's son Roger and some of the family. They didn't know anything about him being a diabetic, which really and truly tells you a lot about a guy like Don Branson, that to race as tough as it was in those conditions in those days, to think how tough it was. People always said, well, Don fell out of the seat a couple times at the end of races when he was running really strong. Well, why wouldn't he if he was a type 1 diabetic and couldn't get any help? I mean, that was, it was a hell of a job to do what he did, and I think that here's a great picture of him in 1964. That was his second sprint car championship, driving for Judd Phillips again. He beat Mario, Johnny Rutherford, some pretty good race drivers, so he's a 2-time USAC champ. Then we get to 1966. He tells everybody this is his last season. He's going to take a job, I think, maybe with Goodyear after the racing season's over. Here he is with Greg Weld, another great dirt driver. I think they just finished 1-2 at Williams Grove. He tells everybody 1966 is going to be his last year, and as fate would have it, the last race of the year in November at Ascot Park, Don's involved in a crash and Dick Atkins is in the same crash. They both lose their lives. Pappy Branson's 46 years old. His big car career lasted from 1959 to 1966. He won 2 USAC championships, all those races, all that great respect. So when you ever hear people talking about the great drivers that never won Indy, Ruby, Michael Andretti, Gary Bettenhausen, Mike Mosley, Don Branson ought to be right there in that list with them. And you talk about tough guys, nobody was tougher than old Pappy Branson. And if you watched him race, you know what I was talking about. This is Robin Miller for RACER.com. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next week.